Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the Season Keepers, the show where the only two people we recommend keeping for the season is us. My name's Matt, aka Clean Sheet Wipeout.
My name's James, aka FPL Drug.
What a shit week that was, eh, James?
Yeah, fucking fuming to be honest. I've not had a great start to the season, but this week has been the worst of them all. 35 points for
Whoa.
me, with a game week rank of like 6.6 million or something stupid.
Wow. I think Planet FPL, I'm in their minus 56 league. And I'm pretty sure there are people in there that have taken a minus 56 and still got more than 35 points this week.
Yeah, I think so.
To be fair, I've not done a lot better. I got 44 points. It's my worst week. Again, yeah, rank of I think almost 4 million. But I think it was a good week to have a bad week, if you get the gist.
I think so, yeah, because everyone did badly. So, well, not
Yeah.
everyone, but
Well,
most
no,
people.
yeah, most people. I've seen a few 70s floating about and whatnot, and I'm jealous to say the least. But I only dropped about 20k, so it's not too bad. It could have been a hell of a lot worse.
Definitely.
Right, should we get stuck into the games that fucked us over then this week?
Yeah, let's do it.
Go on then. Right, first things first. Chelsea nil, Manchester City 1.
Yeah, all I had in terms of coverage for this game was Lukaku, and yeah, just Man City played very well in this game. Made it hard for Chelsea to sort of do their thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, the goal came. I think it came from a shot, like a Cancelo shot, didn't it?
Yeah, so it was like Cancelo kind of, I guess it looked like he took a shot, obviously bumbled around, went to
Yeah,
Jesus, and then it was a deflected, effort from Jesus that went in, and I thought it was unfortunate, but it was coming. Man City looked on it, they looked like they wanted this game. Obviously going to Stamford Bridge, Chelsea last season, beating them in the Champions League final, probably hurt Pep quite a bit, and the press was almost instantaneous from Man City. I thought, they looked quick, they looked like really lively, and Chelsea really struggled to deal with it. Obviously,
mm.
Lukaku was quite isolated in the game, didn't really get many chances. They chose to go with Werner, obviously for his pace. Didn't really pay off. It was, I think it was a really tough game. And in fairness, Man City, had they maybe been a little bit more clinical, could have even won, got another at least. Mendy made a couple of saves there. But all in all, I think Man City were good for the win. And in fairness to Pep, I think this could really, well, he'd hope it kickstart a season. Chelsea's probably one of the toughest opponents this season. And they've gone from, Stamford Bridge winning 1-0. This weekend, they obviously go away to Liverpool. If they get another win there, the run of 3-4 fixtures after that are looking really tidy. So, yeah, I think this could be quite a pivotal moment in Man City season this early on.
Yeah, very very impressed with them, and extremely impressed with them at the back. That's now 5 clean sheets in a row in the Premier League.
Yeah.
The only game they've not kept a clean sheet was the opener against Spurs. So I don't think many of us in this game have even one Man City defender. I think most don't.
Yeah.
Some may have Diaz or Cancelo, and those on Cancelo are like very
There's,
happy at the moment,
I
I'd
was going
say.
to say is what he's only 11.8% owned. And I think the reason Man City were overlooked is because of the start. You look at it like Tottenham, who obviously beat them 1-0, but then Norwich, yeah, very targetable game. But after that, Arsenal, Leicester, and then obviously Saints and then Chelsea. It's not a game that you really thought you needed Man City assets, but it turns out, yeah, if say you'd gone for Cancelo from the start, you're sitting on 44 points already.
Exactly. And in seasons gone by, they've not really done this. They've tended to concede a goal in most games
Mm.
and win by 3-1, 4-1, 2-1. Like they're not really known for keeping clean sheets, but maybe that's something they've worked on.
Yeah, they're really kind of shutting teams down at the moment, and I think both Cancelo and Diaz, obviously Diaz is sitting there at 6.1 again. He's well, to be fair, it's gone up 27.3% ownership at the moment, and out of the two, I still, if you're going to pay that money, I'd be going Cancelo all day long. Yes, Diaz might be more likely to start every game, but I think with Cancelo, you're looking at, the attack and returns. Obviously, he's got the assist here. And yeah, even if he misses out on 3 or 4 games this season, I still think he outscores Diaz.
Yeah, agreed.
Chelsea defensively, though, I think they're probably the main target aside from Lukaku, which I think we'll discuss it towards the end of the pod about wildcards. But I think Lukaku's going to be really targeted this week, and if not this week, definitely next week. I think Chelsea defensively, you're probably looking at what Rudiger, Alonso could be a risky pick. With obviously we keep talking Chilwell, and then obviously Aspilicueta. I think a lot of people will probably have at least one of them.
Oh yeah, they definitely will. I mean, I think Rudiger rose in price last night.
Yeah, 5-7
Um,
now.
yeah, I imagine he may even rise again before the deadline. And with this run of fixtures, if they perform how we expect them to perform, they're going to be rising week on week, I think.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, in the next 5 games, I can probably see 4 clean sheets. I think the only game where they might not keep a clean sheet is Brentford. And that's because we saw how good Brentford were against Liverpool. Obviously, we'll come on to them shortly.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, moving on then to a game in which I think they're still looking for Bruno Fernandes's ball, to be honest. It's Man United 0, Aston Villa 1.
Yeah, this one, I was chose to watch the Chelsea Man City game, and I was kind of constantly just waiting for like a Ronaldo goal
Yep.
or something to happen for United, and it just never came. And
Nah.
obviously, then to my horror, see that Villa have scored and taken the lead, and then obviously at the end of the game, a pen, which I thought, oh great,
Yep.
Ronaldo would be taking this, and I was actually looking on the Bet365 app actually and see Fernandez missed. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, why is he taking it?
I know, honestly, it
Um,
took me by
and
surprise.
it's a terrible pen,
Fucking
wasn't
awful.
it? Changed his approach.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Oh, obviously, it's probably Martinez getting in his head that's actually made him do that.
Martinez is such a shithouse, isn't he?
What a joker, yeah. Giving it to the fans.
Yeah.
Fair play. I
Absolutely,
think
absolutely loved his
they're
approach.
loving him, yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. And fair play to him. I mean, it got them the win. But like you said, we all expected Ronaldo to be stepping up and taking that, and the fact Bruno did and then missed it, yeah, it could be a very different story moving forward. They might have been rotating between them, like the two of them, 4 pens after that miss. Surely Ronaldo's now on them, and at least for the foreseeable until he misses.
You'd hope so. And if he's not, then that really does take a little bit of the shine off of Ronaldo.
Yeah,
Obviously, at 12.5 million, you kind of want him to be on pens. Like Salah's on pens, Kane,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure is on pens. So really, um, yeah, it would make you want to consider your options.
yeah. Completely agree. It was just frustrating because I think I captained him. I presume, did you captain him yourself?
In every
It's
game format under the
yeah.
sun.
Tell me
Yeah.
about it. It's that 12:30 kickoff that just pissed me off because it kind of ruins the rest of your day. But
It does.
never
Yeah.
mind. I mean, Courtney House's goal, it was a pretty decent header. There's arguments to say that David De Gea was obviously being obstructed. And there was an offside decision. I guess it's similar to the Harvey Barnes scenario from last week, but in my eyes, I think it was slightly different, and I can see why it was given.
Yeah. I mean, credit to Villa. They've done well to get 3 points from this game, and now they'll take it.
They have, yeah. Right, moving on then to what is still a slightly depleted Everton side, but came away with a win this time, and it's 6 defeats on the bounce for Norwich. It's Everton 2, Norwich 0.
Yep, and most importantly, a Luca Digne clean sheet.
Hey, you've been waiting for that.
Finally, some points after a sea of sort of twos, -1 in there, a bloody 0. Yeah, and goodbye from my team as well.
Still managed to get himself booked though, didn't he?
He did, which just sort of sums him up really. But I'm probably going to play my wild card this week. But he has been my transfer. I couldn't wait to bin him off, and I've brought in Rudiger.
Nice. Yeah, I think
Which makes sense.
yeah, it does. And I mean, Digne is the player that's probably one that a lot went with to start the season and have slowly kind of sold and sold. And yeah, he's just really failed to deliver. 14 points from these first 6 games is awful when you look at it and you see, Brighton, Burnley, Norwich, Southampton, they're all in there. And it's just a sea of twos. And then obviously that -1. Yeah, he's got a couple of clean sheets in there, but picked up a yellow. It's not great for a player of his value, and there's a reason he's dropped 0.2 million already.
Exactly. You expect that attacking returns, and
Mhm.
he's only got them in that cup game,
Yeah,
so useless to us.
exactly.
But who are Decoure and Townsend returns again? I mean, for
Yeah.
those two, obviously Townsend's was a pen, which he won't normally be on.
No.
So he'll just have to go back to scoring screamers. But Decore, yeah, he's playing in a more sort of advanced role, and he's reaping the rewards. He's got another goal. Very impressed with him.
To be fair, that the four players, obviously with attack and returns, Corey Townsend, then obviously Allen and Gray with the assists, I've been really impressed with all four. I think they've all contributed in one way this season. Each of them have at least two or three goals and assists, like as a tally, and it's not something that you'd maybe thought you'd see from that midfield last season. For instance, they were very reliant on, say, DCL and Richarlison's returns, but the fact that these guys are really stepping up in trying to provide a little bit more of a creative spark can only be positive for Everton. And there would be other days in seasons gone by, Everton would really have struggled at Norwich without having the impetus of both Richarlison and DCL up there. But yeah, these guys have stepped forward and got the returns. Obviously, Rondon was playing. He didn't pick up anything as expected, but yeah, clean sheet, 2 goals. It's not bad from an Everton side, and the only issue with them is it's the turn in fixtures now. So I honestly think if you're on wildcard, you probably wouldn't really consider these Everton guys, even if their price, the likes of Gray, Decore, they're all cheap. They're real good enablers. But I think there are probably better options now, given Everton play United, West Ham, Watford, Wolves, Spurs, Man City, and then after that it's Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea. It's a real tough run of games, and yeah, I don't think I'd be keeping Gray if I wildcard this week.
Yeah, no, I've not really looked at them, but I think you could probably get away with it if you were to say get a Gray and then bench him for 2 games and then play him after that.
Mm.
I think that's the way you could do it if you really wanted them. But other than that, I'd say yeah, maybe just have a look at teams with a better run.
Yeah, I think genuinely the next 10 games, I'd probably only play an Everton asset 2, maybe 3 times. So I think that says a lot about picking them up. As for Norwich, I really don't think there's a lot to say other than they're fucked this season. 6 defeats in a row really isn't looking great for Farke, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see a change in management at Norwich soon, because that's the only thing that's going to save their season.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. I don't think they have enough quality or enough star players. Like they've just got what Pookie, Aaron's. Obviously, they've lost Buendia, which I think has hurt them quite a bit in terms of creativity. And yeah, I just don't think they have enough. I think they're a championship team.
Yeah, and another game obviously where Billy Gilmore hasn't even got on the pitch, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but that probably wasn't expected from Norwich fans at the start of the season when they picked him up on loan from Chelsea at the beginning of the season.
No, and I don't think Chelsea would be happy with that either.
Nah, don't blame them. Right, moving on then to what was actually a really enjoyable game. It was Leeds 1, West Ham 2.
Yeah, fantastic game, as is normally the case with Leeds. Um, Great goal from Rafinha.
Yeah.
Looking dangerous as always. Just so quick feet. Great power and accuracy in his shots.
Yeah. Could have scored more.
I don't know why I don't have him, to be honest. I had him last season. He's still a pretty good price, and I'm not looking at him on wildcard. And they've got great fixtures.
Oh,
Obviously,
yeah.
he
You have to
is
be.
carrying an injury.
Yeah, it's an ongoing injury, isn't it? That
It's never really going away.
he seems to be managing it himself. Like he tells the bench when he wants to be brought off. So obviously against Newcastle, he had 66 minutes, got himself a goal. This time around, 68 minutes, got himself a goal, took himself off again, and immediately
he just scores and thinks, right, I've done my bit.
Yeah.
I want to rest now. I can't be fucked to play the last half hour.
Wouldn't surprise me. And obviously with Bamford's absence, I think Rafinha is even more important in this team now. And you touched on it there. They're fixtures now, and all the way through till what? game week 15. I think they're lovely fixtures for Leeds, and they're against teams that they can really go at. And for me,
Yeah.
honestly, I'm amazed that you haven't even considered him if you're going on wildcard.
I think why I haven't had him and why I'm not considering him is because I've typically had Bamford, and I've always seen that as like that should kind of cover me off. But I am reluctant to bin Bamford on my wild card.
Oh, I would.
I kind of need confirmation of how injured he is, but even if he misses one or two, I think I'm still going to not have him in my team. Just,
I just think the
I
price
mean,
difference, like
yeah,
there are strikers that I think can match Bamford at his price or under, whereas I don't think there are many 6.5 midfielders that are going to get the returns that Rafinha is going to get this season.
no, very very true, and that's why I'm looking at another goal scorer in this game, Antonio.
Yeah, well, talking of Antonio, there he is, another goal, 90th minute winner, and that man is just on fire.
Yep, scored it for his mum. Good goal. He's playing with a smile on his face. He was very confident in his like post-match interview, sort of saying like he wants to even become the top goal scorer in the league. Like
I think it's
I think he
doable.
could.
Yeah.
I think he could. He's scoring most games. He's got pace. He's strong. He can head the ball. He can use his left foot, his right foot. I
Yeah.
think he's class act. And if he's got people still feeding him, like the likes of Rice, Fornals, like
Yeah.
I think there's the potential there for him to score quite a lot this season.
I think there is what 5 goals, 4 assists already. It's a cracking start for him, and I think the only thing that potentially will hold him back from maybe getting the golden boot is the Europa League, because it all depends on how far West Ham go in the Europa League. As to managing minutes. And yeah, he's come out and I think he said he's changed his diet and he's looked at the way he approaches kind of pre-match physically, just to try and manage those injuries. And he says in the interview that he did that he's not really felt his hamstrings, and that's only positive. But I guess we got to see it to believe it. And still in my mind, it's only a matter of time before I have to transfer Antonio out because of an injury. But if he can get through this period of Europa League football, get all the way to say Christmas, beginning of the new year, and he's still kind of fit, then yeah, I think it's probably made a big difference. And well, I know we're looking quite a way away, but those Christmas fixtures, yeah, they're very tight together. But 5 in a row for West Ham are glorious fixtures there. And if he's fit come then, I think Antonio is going to be massively owned.
Yeah, it's a lovely run.
Yeah. Right, jumping on then to what I actually thought was quite a shock result, but Jamie Vardy just keeps on returning. It's Leicester 2, Burnley 2.
Yep, a very very interesting game. Burnley obviously nearly won the game, but for a sort of tight decision for
Yeah.
Chris Woods, what would have been the winner.
Yep. Yeah, very late on. Obviously, Jamie Vardy got off on a slightly wrong foot with the header into his own net there, but
Yeah.
more than made up with it for scoring two pretty good goals, to be honest. But there's just something not quite clicking with Leicester. They just don't look right at the back. Obviously, between Soyuncu and Vestergaard, yeah, Johnny Evans has got to come back, but there's a mistake between both of them quite easily. And then going forward, I've just no idea why Iheanacho and Daka aren't starting. I don't get it. And obviously, Nacho came on, got the assist for Vardy's second there. He's such a good player, and the form that he was in at the end of last season, you would have probably had him nailed to start this season alongside Vardy, and it's not been the case. He's just continuously persevered with Harvey Barnes, and Harvey Barnes has got 12 points in 6 games. Like, he's just not returning. I think surely it's only a matter of time before he does try something else, and Nacho starts alongside Vardy.
Yeah, no, I think it has to be the case. Like if you've held Barnes for this point, I feel for you. Yes, I think that's even worse than my Dinya pick, to be
Yeah,
honest.
it is genuinely.
Well, the most he's got is a free, and that was on the opening day. Um, I think Leicester at the back, like the Vestergaard and Bertrand signings, kind of surprised me. I feel like they're kind of mid-table signings rather than the kind of caliber they should be signing.
Yeah, Bertrand's not
But
a bad player, but he's aging, and we both know from experience watching Saints, Vestergaard on his day can be brilliant, but he can be turned so quickly, and he really lacks pace. So if you can get him behind him, you're through. And he's got a mistake in him, and he showed again. There are issues in him defensively, and I was very surprised when Leicester were the ones to go from him as a centre back option.
yeah, I think Bertrand a few years ago would have been a brilliant signing for them. But I think he's a bit older now. He's not as sharp as he was, and yeah, Vestergaard's always kind of got a mistake in him. I think he's just kind of a worse version of Soyuncu, really. I think there were better people they could have bought,
Yeah,
but credit to Burnley, their signing, Cornet
yeah,
scored, but obviously then went off injured.
he did. Yeah, it was a very good finish.
Yeah, yeah, very good player. Hopefully we'll see him back soon, and it's not too serious. But because it would be nice to have a bit of like an option emerge from Burnley, because at the moment we're not really looking at them.
Nah, well, you say that. I noticed that your fiance brought in Chris Wood, mate.
She did, yeah.
And honestly, looking at these fixtures coming up ahead, I don't blame her. Like, Norwich, Saints, Brentford, Palace, Tottenham,
Yeah, she loves
Newcastle.
the FDR.
Yeah, I bet she does, yeah, honestly. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Chris Wood get a few goals in the next, say, 8 to 10 games. And yeah, I don't think he's owned by many, but obviously, no doubt Storm's going to be pretty happy when he does return.
Yeah, I think she will be. I mean, she's way ahead of me at the moment, so good luck to her.
Bless her. Right, moving on then to a game in which a lot of people were targeting one specific Watford player in Ismail Assar, and once again popped up with a return. It was Watford 1, Newcastle 1.
Yeah, bit frustrating for me to see Sarr score again. Someone that's not in my team, but obviously a very good price. He's at now owned by 16% of the game.
He is, yeah,
I
6.3.
think he's kind of Watford's key player, really. And I expect him to score more. But however, the run
It's
does
horrendous.
get a bit tricky. So I think those that are on him are gonna probably have to think about coming off of him, maybe after Leeds.
Mate, the run is, yeah, it's woeful, isn't it? It's what, Leeds, Liverpool, Everton, Saints. Yeah, fair enough. Arsenal, Man United, Leicester, Chelsea, City. You can't get any harder than that. They play pretty much the top 6 in the next 8 games. It's, yeah, I'm sorry, but if Watford can pick up 6 points in the next, 8 games, I'll be very impressed.
Yeah, no, I'm not expecting much from them. It's a horrendous run. So yeah, I think you want to ship them out, and I think you've potentially missed the boat if you've not already had Sarr.
Yeah, it'd be very much chasing points if you go for him now, and obviously it's 6.3. It'll only be a matter of time before people maybe move him on to say a Rafinha if they've got a little bit of money, or there are probably cheaper
Yeah,
alternatives in say Mbuemo, which we'll come on to. And I think his price will start to drop. It's probably one of those players that you might see quite a bit of fluctuation over the next few weeks.
definitely.
And obviously, not many of us are considering Newcastle players. Saint-Maximin is 15% owned. Picked himself up another return. It's not bad, and I think he is a good enabler. As a forward player at 6.8, it's not bad at all. Other than that, don't really think they were an option. Just shout out to Longstaff for an absolute crackerjack of a goal.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think ASM is the only one I've got eyes on.
Yeah. Right, moving on to what was easily the game of the weekend. An absolute cracker. It was Brentford 3, Liverpool 3, and it very could have been 6-6. Like, it was one hell of a game.
Yeah, crazy game. Great atmosphere at Brentford. I think there's going to be a few shock results at home for them, and they don't come much bigger than getting a point against Liverpool. And credit to them.
Could have won it as well. Obviously, if Tony wasn't offside at the end of the game, there could have been 4-3. But it was just end to end. There were periods of think there was a moment, obviously, where Brentford went up one end, had the ball cleared off the line. Liverpool went up the other, cleared it off the line. It was unbelievable, and I think obviously Salah once again, like we keep talking about him week on week, but again he's another player matching Antonio. He's there to prove a point. 5 goals this season so far. Jota got himself a goal finally, rewarding us owners. That was quite nice to see, particularly with Firmino coming back. But all 4 of them were on the pitch at one point, and I guess that's positive if Klopp is maybe looking that way. I was very impressed with both Mbeumo and Tony once again. I thought they were unplayable at times. They really made Liverpool's defence think about where their positioning was and kind of moved them side to side. It was just brilliant play all round. But David Raya really impressed me, and I know he conceded.
Outstanding save.
Yeah, I know he conceded 3 goals, but he's such a talent, isn't he?
He is, and 4.6 million. They've been keeping a few clean sheets now. Obviously, they do have a bit of a tough run, but sort of around game week 10,
Yeah.
it clears up and looks quite nice. So yeah, potentially, I don't know if anyone's considering 4.5 goalkeeper rotations. You could maybe have a look at ones that involve him,
Yep.
or even throw him in for, say, a Sanchez.
Yeah, I think if you're wildcarding, say, game week 7, game week 8, Brentford players might be on the radar, but come game week 10, I think a lot of us are going to be looking at targeting at least one of their frontline players. It's just, they're so cheap, and Brentford is such a good team to watch. Like, they're a credit to themselves and obviously to the Premier League. Just, I don't think they've got an issue this season. I think they'll probably be safe come January, February time, and then they can enjoy the rest of the season.
Yeah, very impressed and surprised.
Right, moving on to a game in which I attended, and I don't really want to talk about, to be honest. It was Southampton 0, Wolves 1.
Yeah, Jimenez obviously finally scoring since his injury, and it had to be us, didn't it?
Yep, he put 3 of our defenders on the floor. It was embarrassing.
Yeah, it was a great goal. From their point of view, obviously horrific defending,
terrible defending.
from ours.
Yeah. We could all see it as well. Like, he was just running at our defence, and obviously he goes one way, puts Bednarak on the floor, goes the other, Salisu goes down. It was awful all round, and I think I summed it up on Twitter after the game. Like, Wolves were bad, but we were worse. And yeah, the stats kind of show that we probably had more attack in a 10, more possession, but in the final third, we just can't score. Yeah, Sar's made 6 saves there. I genuinely think there was only 1 decent save in the game, like, from him. The rest were pretty tame efforts, to be honest. And it's just frustrating because we're creating these opportunities in the final third and we're getting up there. And then when the ball goes in the box, or at least on the edge of the 18-yard box, we're turning away, or we're putting the ball into the box in the likes of Redmond and Adams and Armstrong to an extent. They're scuffing their efforts, they're panicking. And Hasenhüttl came out at the end of the game and said, look, we're really struggling offensively. And that's not what I want to hear. Like, defensively, I think we have improved. Like, we look better, except for the fact of, falling over for Jimenez. But I just worry for this weekend. Like, if Jimenez can do that to our back line, what's Lukaku going to do?
Yeah, tear it to shreds, I'd imagine. Yeah, no, it says something when Wolves are able to score against us when they've kind of struggled against almost everyone else.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just was one of those sort of toothless Saints performances that we've seen over the years.
Yeah, it's frustrating. I mean, obviously we've got 4 points. It's 4 draws, 2 losses. We haven't won a game yet. Yes, I know we said at the start of the season for these first 8 games, and I spoke about it on the Planet FPL correspondence at pre-season. In these first 8 games, if you take the exact fixtures last season, we only picked up 2 points from them. So we have doubled that tally with 2 games to go. But I don't think it means a lot because we really need to pick up some form. And from game week 8, our run is quite nice all the way probably through to game week 18, like come Christmas. It's a decent run with a few tough fixtures, but we really have to start taking our chances. Otherwise, we're going to really struggle against the likes of, say, Watford, Burnley, Norwich, and those are games we have to be winning.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. I think we will pick up some points from them, but we've just got to keep our heads up, I guess.
Yeah, we just have to spend a couple of days on the training ground literally just shooting, because at the moment it doesn't seem like they're doing any of that.
No.
All right, moving on to a game in which I was listening to in the car on the way home, and wow, what a North London derby for the red side. It was Arsenal 3, Spurs 1.
Yeah, I watched the game and Arsenal got off to a great start. Just high energy, seemed to really want the game, want the points. Just very impressed with everyone, really. Aubameyang was working hard. Smith Rowe looked good as well. Just great all round, really. Ramsdale made a couple of decent saves.
Oh, that one at the end. I got home just in time for the last like 10 minutes, and it was it from it was a deflected shot, wasn't it? That he managed to
Yeah,
then
yeah,
tip onto the crossbar. Absolute
yeah.
unbelievable save.
Sensational save. Yeah, sensational save, and I think that's now his place. We did say that we think he's probably going to be playing most games now, and
Yeah.
looks like he is. And 4.5 million, obviously, he's very cheap, and kind of a little bit. Well, actually, I didn't play Ben White, so I guess I'm kind of relieved they didn't keep the clean sheet. But I thought they were going to at one point. Obviously, other than the late goal from Son,
Yeah.
who's sort of reminding us he's still there. I shipped him out a couple of weeks ago when he I think he picked up a knock
He
or
did,
got
yeah. Yeah,
rotated,
he had the
or I think
injury.
it was an injury. Yeah, and for the future, their fixtures are a bit tough in 9, 10, and 11. So I think sort of game week 12 is, if Spurs have got their shit together, when you put them into the team. But at the moment, I don't think you consider any Spurs players.
Nah. So obviously, having watched the game, what do you think went wrong for Spurs?
Um, well, they didn't seem to match Arsenal's energy levels and work rate. For one, they kind of allowed Arsenal to play their game too easily, to move the ball without real kind of opposition or closing down. Just disorganised at the back. Um, couldn't keep holding the ball long enough as well.
Yeah, 'cause I
I
think
think Højbjerg was pretty bad.
yeah, I was gonna say I heard James's Planet FPL's kind of roundup, and yeah, his comments on Højbjerg were expletive, and I mean I think he held back given he was on a podcast, but it sounded like he had an absolute mare. And just listening on the radio on the way, it almost sounded like Spurs for the first 10, 15 minutes were punting the ball up to Harry Kane. Weren't really getting much success from it, and then almost gave up. And the commentary team on Talksport that I was listening to were just shocked.
Yeah, Harry Kane's shooting was quite poor.
Should have scored.
Yeah, I think he had like 3 chances which he could have easily put away. I think Kane from previous seasons would have done. But I guess the longer it kind of goes without him scoring, the more the pressure builds. Like strikers
Yeah,
need to score goals, and when they don't, they get a bit of a hoodoo.
yeah.
And
6 games
think
now. That's not good.
that could happen with Kane, to be honest.
Yeah, I hope not. I mean, obviously we've got the international break after this coming weekend. That might do him some favours. But I mean, he scored quite well on the last international break. Came back and he's done fuck all again for Spurs. So we'll have to wait and see. Final game then, obviously last night. Crystal Palace won, Brighton won, and I actually really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, fantastic atmosphere. It's a derby,
Yeah.
as most of you know. I've seen some funny names for it. El Gatwico, the M23 derby or something they call
Yeah.
it. But Gallagher won the pen, which was brilliant because he's in my team.
There you go.
So got some points that way. Maybe what might have been good would have been him to miss the pen Sanchez to save it, and then him to score the rebound. So I own both of them.
Yeah, yeah. The whole Sanchez thing was annoying. Like, obviously, it looked like
Oh,
he
he
might
get the end of the game. Yeah.
got himself booked. With I think he was having a disagreement with Zaha,
Oh dear.
and
Did you see it?
yeah, fucking idiot.
Yeah, yeah. They're like mouthing off the fans, the
Yeah,
Palace fans.
yeah, absolute moron.
Oh dear.
Gets himself, but we were all celebrating the fact that Sanchez finally picks up a bonus point, and then yeah, gets himself booked. Technically, the 97th minute, picks up another 2-pointer. It's a little bit frustrating as a Sanchez owner. Obviously, he's had a couple of clean sheets, but he doesn't really pick up save tiers. Like, I'll say save tiers, that's Sky, but save points in this one, and it's bloody annoying because it's either 6 or nothing, and for periods in this game, I thought, okay, we might pick up one. Not to be, and then yeah, sat on 2 saves for about 60 minutes. It was just irritating.
Yeah, and they've got a couple of tough games. City in game week 9,
Yeah.
Liverpool in game week 10. Arguably, Arsenal will be a tough game now in game week 7.
Yep. Yeah, agreed. I mean, I've seen wildcard teams with Sanchez in there, but I think there are maybe better options to go with, and we can talk about that shortly. Mope took his goal very well. Obviously, snatch and grab at the end there. Veltman with a lovely ball over the top, and yeah, Mope just ran on, put it over the keeper. It was a cracking finish, to be fair. And for me, I think, yeah, I never really considered Mope. Not many have. He's only 2.9% owned, but he's got 4 goals this season.
Yeah, very, very impressed. Will he become an option coming forward? Maybe.
Possibly,
but
yeah.
I think people are going to probably at that point be looking at Tony, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Right, I think that's that. Do we really want to talk about our teams this week? Or do we just want to jump onto the fact that we're both considering wildcarding?
Yeah, let's talk about the wild card. So we've both had a bad week, and controversially, I think I may actually not change any of my midfielders on my wild card.
Wow. Okay, right. Let me pull up your team because I want to see this.
Yeah, so that midfield will stay the same, and I'll tell you why. So
you've got Gallagher, Sissoko, Salah, Benrahma, and Basuma.
Yeah, so Sissoko and Basuma will stay there because there's not much else at 4.5 million. So I'm kind of happy with them as options at that price. Benrahma, I think, is a very good player for how much he costs. So I'm no kind of hurry to get rid of him. Same sort of reason with Gallagher. I think at his price, I don't think there's much better players, and I kind of need the savings for what I'm planning elsewhere, and I don't want to get rid of Mo Salah. So that's why my midfield is going to be the same. However, obviously that means changes elsewhere. I think I'm just going to make 3 changes. So obviously I've already made a transfer.
Why would you wildcard if you're only making 3 changes?
What?
Why would you wildcard if you're only making 3 changes?
It'd be a -12, wouldn't it?
What? So 3 changes on top of what you've already done?
Yeah, on top of my transfer. So technically 4 changes.
Even then,
I'm not doing a -12.
No, but do you need to make the 3 changes this week, or could you stagger it and do a -4 and then a -8, or
then I'll be missing out on
just to fix your team?
Returns. I want to do it.
It just feels strange that you're wildcarding for 4 players.
The prices would rise. I think that's enough. I think you don't have to have a team that's completely fucked to play it.
Right. So 4 changes wise.
Shipping out Wan-Bissaka.
Yep.
I'm going to get rid of Kufau as well.
Yep.
And I've already got rid of Digne, and I'm going to get rid of Bamford.
Okay. So would you not consider, say, Ben Foster for Angus Gunn, for instance? So you've got 2 playing goalkeepers.
I think I need that 0.5.
Okay. The other one I'm questioning, honestly.
I might change my keeper as well because Sanchez currently not included.
Foster's 4 million.
Oh well, then fuck it. I'll hit gun to Foster.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. I thought it was 4.5.
No, Backman's 4.5. But the other one that I'd honestly question, right, is you holding Benrahma, because yes, he's performed well. The Europa League's back, but after the Brentford game, it's Everton, Spurs, Villa, Liverpool, Wolves, City, Brighton, Chelsea, Burnley, Arsenal. I think that's a really tough run of games. Whereas you look at Leeds, Watford, Saints, Wolves, Norwich, Leicester, Tottenham, Brighton, Palace, Brentford.
If Rafinha's fit, then
I,
maybe that's something I'm gonna have to think
I
about.
genuinely don't think there's a debate to be had. I'd be putting Rafinha in that team over Benrahma, honestly. He's with Bamford injured, he's the talisman, and I think even with Bamford back, Rafinha's gonna. I know Benrahma's had such a good start, but there've been three big returns, and then it's been a 2, a 3, and a 3. I just think Rafinha's a better option.
Yeah, I mean, potentially that 10 pointers clouded my judgment a bit.
I think it is. And forward line wise, what did you say you were going? So what are you sticking with Lukaku, Ronaldo,
Yep,
and
and
who?
then probably have Antonio
Oh,
at
so
seven. No, definitely have Antonio if I get rid of
I
Benrahma.
was going to say, well, there you go. I don't think you need both if you're wildcarding. I think you cover off a Leeds asset and a West Ham asset, and obviously at the moment that's what you've done with Bamford and Benrahma. Arguably, and I mean, I don't think there's an argument to be had. You're probably replacing the two second best lead assets
With the best
with the
ones.
best
Yeah.
ones. So I'd be doing that, mate.
Okay.
I'm also considering a wild card, and I know when you heard that I was doing it, you questioned it, but there's a reason, and it's because yes, I've had a good start. I'm sitting at 37k, but I think this week showed that that can go downhill quite quickly. My issue is the fact that I don't have any Chelsea. Obviously, you've got Lukaku and Rudiger. I don't have any Chelsea, and I don't have any Man City, and I need to take hits to bring them in, and I'm not sure I want to. Um, I've been really reluctant to take hits this season. I've got Luke Shaw, who I don't really want on my team anymore. Jota, probably don't want him. Benrahma, probably don't want him. Adam Armstrong, brought him in after watching Saints. Question why I brought him in. Probably don't want him. And then like Ayling, Brownhill, I think there are better alternatives. So the other one I'm thinking of is obviously Ronaldo. I've got him in my team at the moment. If I'm going to bring in Lukaku, I don't really know if I want Lukaku, Ronaldo, and Antonio. I think I'd rather go bigger at the back. So I might be looking at, say, I know it's becoming quite template, but like a Rudiger, a Cancelo, and a Trent, and covering who I think are probably the three best options from the three best teams in the league. And that's why I'm considering it, because if I don't do it, it's going to cost me a -12 or -16 over 2 weeks to pick them up. And I just really think it's about attacking the fixtures that are in front of you. And it's something I've been reluctant to do in seasons gone by.
Yeah. No, fair enough. I think that sounds like quite a good plan. To be honest, maybe I don't know. Ronaldo might hurt you, but I think that back line does sound pretty good.
I'd be expecting Ronaldo to hurt me this weekend, to be fair. But I'd be hoping that, say, Lukaku could at least match him against Saints. The week after, I think Salah is probably the best captaincy option anyway, and I'll own him. So Lukaku, whatever he does, is just a benefit there. But yeah, I'm looking ahead. I really feel like I need at least two Chelsea, and then probably two Man City. I know they've got a tough game against Liverpool this weekend, but after that, I'd love to say have a Grealish and a Cancelo in my team. I think they could really do bits from game week 8 onwards.
You looking at Grealish?
But yeah, I think midfield wise, I know I bigged him up at the start of the season, but I think Ferran Torres is just a no go now. He's obviously had 2 games where he hasn't played. Um, he had a good little game, didn't he? He got 16 points, and then he's been benched the past 2 games, so that's not gone well. Yeah, I think Phil Foden is a very good option, but we know about rotation. De Bruyne, he's expensive. Pep just seems to love Grealish, and I think he spoke about it a couple of weeks ago. He loves the fact that he's out on the left and he's naturally like a gifted player that can play there and come in from the left. Whereas I don't really know if they have many other players of that caliber that can play that position. So I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see Grealish probably get the most minutes out of any midfielder other than, say, De Bruyne this season.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. He seems to be the most nailed in the mids.
He does, yeah. So for that reason, honestly, I think he's 8 million. I think it's a very good price for a Man City midfielder that has the run that they've got. Burnley, Brighton, Palace. I think very, very targetable fixtures, and Man City could turn all three of those over.
Yeah, they could.
Right. I think we've probably rambled on for enough there. Hopefully, that's given a few people food for thought if they are looking to wildcard this week. And no doubt, come the end of the week, you'll see whether both myself and James on Twitter have wildcarded, at CS_wipeout and at FPL drug. And obviously, we'll probably post them on the Season Keepers Twitter for a bit of fun anyway. But all the best for the upcoming game week, folks. I think that's it, James. It's a goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
Cheers, guys.